They're tense.
Anticipation.
Anticipation. Alright, we are not yet live.
But I completely get what you're saying with, the spouse who's also an officer, because, that's another big part of it.
I think we're live.
Hello! Welcome back! Hello!
Hello! I'm getting it now.
You getting it?
Oh, wait, does that mean our sync's out again? No. You're just like, hello!
Hello.
So what are we doing? We're playing Alas for the Awful Sea. We have the game's creator here, Hayley, and...
Hayley, what's it about?
Alas for the Awful Sea is a game of myth, mystery and crime in the 19th century, set in the rural British Isles.
So before mobile phones and the internet.
And we're all on laptops.
Yeah, it's challenging. It's hard to know, how the people in this era managed to survive. So this game is mainly about the struggles you face when you don't have the internet.
So the central cause of the game is like, what happened before the internet?
Yeah, exactly. No.
Sun went down, you went to sleep.
That's right.
But what about all the lights you could just turn on, right?
It's expensive.
Oh.
We kind of need to let people know that we're online. So
How do we do that?
can you set something up on the Facebook page?
Yeah.
That we're back online. We have one person watching, but we should probably...
We should have 4 people watching now. You should do a stream on You can do it. We believe on the Facebook.
On the Book of Face?
Yeah.
Okay.
Book of Face.
Oh,
All right. So anyway,
this is riveting.
sorry. While you're doing that, all seriousness. Sorry, I was being a bit silly before. So this is kind of like a
shocking
murder mystery in the English Isles.
The English Isles, nice, cool.
Thank you.
I mean, the thing about this game is you can really explore the elements of that interest you most. So there's an element of just conflict, ideological conflict, and human emotion. Then there's sort of the more exploratory murder mystery type element, and then there's also the folktale myth element as well.
Yeah.
I think that the core thing to the game is that element of conflict about different people. I mean, it's like every game. Different people who want different things and how far they will go to get them, and the clash that results from that.
And why did you choose that particular time period? I mean, it's a broad time period, but it does seem fairly specific.
Well, I think I was really inspired by the history that I read around that time period. It was a time period where a lot of ideology was changing and there was a lot of conflict going on.
Yeah, right.
And I wanted to capture that in a game, and I also fell in love with the myth and the folk tales that surround that area. A lot of which came from this time period or around this time period.
I guess there's a fair amount of technology change as well. There's guns that come into it.
So much happening in the world at this time.
Yeah, that's really
Revolution.
cool.
Yep.
Industrial Revolution, yeah.
Charterism, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Wicked.
Murray, I want you to give a quick recap of everything that's just happened in the last game. 3, 2, 1.
We're the crew of a ship named the Pridwin, which was Fairface, the old sea dog, the scholar, and the Strider.
Dolly
Dundee Rogers. My name is Matthias Jones, and this is Bartholomew
Stout.
We ran into a storm off the small town of Greymore, and we took the ship in because it started leaking. We left the captain
Which is
and
not good for
most
ships.
of the crew fixing the leak while we made our way into Greymore in the away boat to get the ship right. Brought him back, and he fixed the ship. Then we went back into the town to check out some lodgings. Meanwhile, the crew, there was a mutiny, and they've taken the crew off, and currently they're fighting the Italian Navy. That's been happening in the chat.
Yep.
And meanwhile, what we didn't know was that he's also a smuggler, and one of the packages of tea on board our ship was in fact rifles being smuggled somewhere. And he spotted that the package which had been taken off the boat, was being dragged onto the shore. So we followed, and we got to the house, the best-looking house in Graymore.
Yep.
Of
Eileen.
Eileen and her thugs. Let's call them thugs.
And she's also known by the name of that effing
yes,
woman.
she has a less polite.
No, certain circles only know her by that name. So I thought I'd just bring it up,
Okay.
you know.
And then we struck a deal. We discovered in that conversation that the tea was not the tea. And so we said, right, well, we'll help. We were then cajoled into making a deal to get your tea back, to find evidence to stop the provost by proving that the provost or his son had killed their mother. Meanwhile, we've been asked to help the shipwright find someone else. And my character really put his foot in it because he mixed them all together and incriminated the shipwright into the discovery of the wife, who then got beaten up. We then made our way into the inn where she got drunk and played with fish, and he basically communed with a picture of the wife and discovered that she was angry. Meanwhile, I was trying to go and apologise to the shipwright who'd just been roughed up by one of Eileen's thugs named Mac, because I had said that he knew something about a missing person and discovered that it was not in fact the same missing person. It was his niece Amy, who had had a child out of wedlock, and this is 1830, so that's a bad thing. And he wanted to give her supplies, and I then ran back to the inn and said, we need to go now.
And did you do anything else on the way? Did you maybe tell Matt?
That was my pricey, man. That was my summary. I thought I did a really good job of that summary.
Can everyone just congratulate?
Can I have a
chat?
clap in the chat?
Yeah.
Can people just can the chat people in the chat just clap, just even sympathetically clap, like
Oh my,
even slow chat.
You're giving me a slow clap in the chat.
I am. I don't know what
Well,
that's
if my
going to do, but you
chat
know,
would connect, I'll be able to tell you. I can
Yeah, I'm
We
not
got
seeing.
we got 6 watching now. If you are in the chat,
slow
let us
clap.
know.
Clap in the chat.
Yeah, clap in the chat. But
That
we're
wasn't
gonna
inaccurate.
now.
There was nothing wrong with that.
No, it wasn't inaccurate. I just think you highlighted yourself in a much greater and more greater way than you normally would.
You got drunk and danced with fish.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I'm not saying you were wrong. I'm just saying that. Haley, where are we now?
So,
Good segue.
it's night,
Yes.
it's dark,
How dark?
there is a moon, mostly full, not completely full.
There is a moon.
There's a lighting up patches of ground.
Yep.
With a silvery glow, but it is pretty damn dark. And you have a large amount of things that Bart the shipwright, as opposed to Bart the old sea dog, has given you on a cart to take to his niece. You've got thatching, you've got dry store, you've got some clothing materials, and you have managed to, thanks to Dolly's navigational skills, brilliance.
Like unnatural brilliance.
Yeah, uncanny. It's almost like you're being
Following
guided
the
by some
signs.
sort of mystical force, you know.
We both know what that is.
It's called persistence.
1, 2, 3, runes.
Yeah. What?
I wouldn't have got that.
No. I didn't know where you were going with
I
that.
just feel like you don't know me. I feel like we're not connected.
Guys, leave the marital problems at home.
No.
Okay, guys.
And you
Distressing.
arrived
Yep.
at Amy's home.
Yep.
And sort of knocked on the door. You have to temper your blows a little because the door is so old and rickety and kind of like you were gonna cave in. And the door is answered by a young woman, thin, gaunt and white, who looks very surprised to see human faces, let alone a cart full of stuff. And a
Awesome
little
stuff.
boy looks around too and peeks out from around her petticoats and yells, "Business!"
I'm like,
Oh, no.
I'm like, hello, and I'm very nice and you know, say
Yeah.
hello to the boy and say hello to the lovely lady as well.
Mm.
Because it's ridiculous that she's been ostracized and such, and I go into a political speech about being the community ostracism of this young and beautiful woman, and blah, 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 blah. That goes
Amy.
on for another half hour.
You're Amy?
Yes.
we brought some things from Bart.
Ah, my uncle shouldn't have sent them, but I'm glad he did. Thank you.
Where shall we put them?
I guess she looks into her house, which is just one room.
No.
And it's sort of
That's so,
furnished with
I feel terrible now. I'm just like, oh.
You went down the ostracism path.
I know. I was.
Yeah, she's got these two like cracked chairs and like an old mattress laying on the floor, and that's basically it. And it's sort of like maybe part in here, part around the side, because I don't think it's all gonna fit in here.
Oh, boy.
But thanks for coming.
Is there any supplies in the thing that I could actually build a little shelter? Because I don't know if you know this, but I'm really good at building things.
What about the cart? Can we
Flip the cart
flip
over.
the cart over and maybe create a little shed at the back?
Bart
You could,
didn't say
it would
anything
take
about
you-
bringing it back.
No, you didn't.
You could. It would take you. Well, it's the middle of the night,
Yeah,
so it would potentially take you a little while to build that, but you could absolutely do that. Yeah,
all right. Well, maybe we
I
can.
would appreciate that.
Maybe we can do that. Do we want to stay here the night? Do
Well,
we
we got some thatch. We could burn some thatch. That'll give us some light.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you could do it even though it's the night.
Okay. All right.
Well, the thing is, it's the night, but our eyes, it's the moonlit night, and our eyes are adjusting to the darkness. It's,
Well, we've been walking for 2 hours, so.
well,
Yeah,
no,
they're
you've been
adjusting.
walking for 2 hours. I've been on top of the car.
No, you've been walking for 2 hours.
Is there a horse?
You're now sobering.
Is this a
no,
horse
you
drawn
had to
cart?
pull it.
We've had to pull
Yeah,
ourselves up.
yeah. No
I'm a little hungover.
horses.
Lacking the essence of life, I think is the big one.
So you're asleep by now.
Yeah, you're asleep on top of the cart.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's see him roleplay that.
on the top of
Let's
the
see you
car.
roleplay that.
Good. And she's just
Good,
like,
sweet. So,
is she?
she's
Okay,
fine. She's
okay.
fine.
She's
Okay.
Would you like us to help you with the thatch in the morning?
I mean, that would be if you had time, but
We're gonna roleplay home improvement.
yeah.
Like, oh no, what's that ultimate dream home rebuild
Yeah,
thing?
I'm gonna seize by force the thatch, and
All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna act under pressure.
yeah. Okay, roleplay your bladder. Go on, you're drunk.
Oh, that's acting under pressure.
Oh god.
Oh no, and I'm not helping.
Balance,
You make things
balance.
worse.
6.
7. You just get it. You're lucky. You falter, buckle, or break. Oh.
I do. I break. That's,
Yeah.
I have a
And
break.
appropriate, yeah.
No. Okay. So.
Where's the?
Yeah, I think we're just going to doss down. Mind you, it's quite wet. Maybe we.
There's like some a little bit of shelter at the back where the
That's,
hovel sort of overhangs a cliff
Yeah.
area, and you can see out into the sea.
Where?
Oh, right. So it's
Perhaps.
it's near the cliffs where the provost wife.
it has water
Missing.
glimpses.
It does,
This-
and the
this
provost
property.
wife went missing.
Has more than
along
water
the
glimpses.
cliff.
It's like on the coast.
And the thing is,
Yeah.
it's so good with water. It has the water comes through the roof.
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
That's why we've got thatch.
Hence the thatch. Well, can we stay the night?
That was the plan.
Yeah, and do it in the morning.
All right.
But,
So where's my bed?
What? We're on the cliffs
Yes.
where the wife went missing.
Is this where the wife is?
Along the cliffs.
She went missing along the cliffs. It probably would have been like she walked in the same direction you did
Yeah.
from
Okay.
town. You don't know exactly
we've
the
been
location.
All right. So we can.
Helpful and are offering more help.
Yeah.
Therefore, might ask
She
some
might.
questions.
She might give us some information.
I'm a scholar, man. That's the plan.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, use your ability, your expert ability, to be able to influence people.
I'm just going to chat to him
Oh, go for
because
it.
we're going to thatch your house.
I want to roleplay. Go for it.
You can
You're
talk to
asleep.
her.
I know. That's why I'm looking forward to roleplay.
No, you're doing it wrong.
No, I'm just like this. I'm in my sleep going.
So
yeah, I'm going to ask. Or are you going to ask?
no, you ask. I was going to sort of help by entertaining the kid.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll
You're playing
say
the young
I'll
one?
say the, what's your name, young whippersnapper?
Benny!
Benny.
I am 2! He's fascinating conversation.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Come over here to the fire and tell me about yourself. So
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's very excited to see somebody that isn't his mum,
I'll. All right.
and jumps all over you and touches it like all your stuff.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. All right.
Your
We,
whale-
we
your
look
whale-
at
does what?
we look at my whalebird. Yes.
He,
Sorry.
You're asleep.
I was like gonna find a way of rephrasing it, but all of them were worse, so I just.
And that's where we leave it.
All right. Yes. So I'm dealing with Benny.
Yes, cool. Okay, so Matthias, you approach.
Yeah, I'm going to have a
Amy.
chat to Amy and, just ask about if there's been anything weird happening along the cliffs or if she's seen anyone wandering who shouldn't have been or encountered anyone or not mentioning the provost's wife by name.
Yeah, she says, I have, noticed, weird behavior, like the birds and stuff, when I look out over the water, they seem to be flying in a strange pattern, and sometimes I think I hear sounds coming from out of the water, but I'm not really sure.
Do you hear this?
Yeah,
You're in the same room.
one group.
I'm going to turn and for one of the rare instances, I'm going to catch your
Yeah.
eye and we're going to nod sagely, and then the snortle from Dolly's going to disturb us.
So I stand up slowly and I say, "So the sea's been talking to you then, miss?"
The birds. She mentioned the birds.
Ah,
That argument about what
Don't you
Well-
what beyond is the right beyond.
it's been talking to me, but I'm not sure I understand what it's trying to say.
What do you think it is saying?
I've got no idea. I thought
How do you feel when you feel this come over you?
sad.
Huh?
I feel really sad. I thought maybe it had something to do with my husband. Well, my
The father of Benny.
yes.
Aye.
Oh, that was beautiful. How long ago did he leave?
Just over almost 2 years ago.
Ah,
Yeah.
just before. Right.
Aye.
Have you seen anyone else along the cliffs acting strangely recently?
No, I mean I don't really leave this immediate area around the hovel very often. We've got around my house.
It's like,
Pick up
even
people.
you call it a hovel, I'm like, oh, that's so depressing.
My bad.
It's kind of like
Around my
My
home.
home,
My palatial estate.
Yes. Very.
the sadness, is it your sadness or someone else's?
I don't know. It's hard for me to tell. Yeah.
Is she telling the truth?
I've got no reason to lie.
I'm incredibly drunk and can't
I think the best role playing for you is where you.
It makes me feel sad, and I think about my husband. I feel sad. I call him my husband.
Sometimes, thus, when you look into the sea looks into you, and what you're feeling is what the sea tells you. We'll do our best to try and get the word out to your little boy's dad.
Thank you. Although I'm not. It's been so long. I'm not sure he's still with us. But I dream. I hope.
Can I just say?
You're sniveling!
I just want.
Never sniveling!
I want some.
Couldn't
happy
never
words.
make it again.
It's just. It's too sad.
It is very
No, it's
sad.
going to get better. Stop. Go. We can ask. And I'm going to hold out one hand.
Ooh,
And
you
I'm going to
bet.
hold out another.
This is.
She thinks it's strange, but she takes your hand.
Okay.
So we made a circle, and
Yes.
then I'm going to sense what's beyond.
Okay, do that. Sense what's beyond.
And I'd like to sense what's beyond about the father.
Okay.
Firstly, see whether the father is alive, and
Mhm.
kind of like a weird seance beyond seancey thing.
Can you
Presumably he's not dead, but we'll find out.
can you awkwardly hum as well?
Well, you can do that from your snoring. And also try and sense what's going on with these visions that she's seen of the birds and the strange sounds, and if that's the same beyond that we are.
Cool,
both.
cool.
Okay with.
Sounds good.
Do we get, because we're connected and all beyondish, do we...
You can use help if you would like.
Yeah.
Okay.
So am I rolling?
So
I'm
this will be
helping
help,
Linda.
yeah.
Alright.
Nice nailed that
5.
one.
Oh, nailed that. You
Plus
should have been
2.
looking.
I know.
So you've got a 7 there.
7
Which is
plus
gonna be-
9.
Oh, 7 plus
I get mine 2, so
yeah,
that's
7 plus
7.
2, so that would be a 9 all up. Which would be fragments
Fragments, yes. Fragments and mysteries.
Awesome.
Sorry,
So, yeah.
just before he convinced. No, you convinced me.
Hmm.
So do we get another +1?
You get a +1 on your next roll.
Ah, that's
Mm.
right. Yes, you do get a +1 on your next roll, which is not very helpful because
We can't get more than
but
a
you
+2.
can,
The
you
maximum
can
is-
hold that you can't give that +1 that you've gotten.
To a hinder, to
yeah.
a help.
Yeah, to another person that belongs to you.
So do I retain it?
You can, like, the only instance in which you retain it is if you max out, which you did, so you can retain it for your
okay.
next roll.
Okay.
Quick question, just so I can understand the system. So you got 5 plus 2, 6, 7, plus 2 from him, 8, 9. Do they get 1 for the relationship?
No. So the relationship would have added to Bart's die, but Bart rolled a 12, so
Okay.
no help needed
Okay.
in this case.
Not a problem.
Cool.
So it's a 9. So yeah, essentially, all up. So you begin to see a flickering, as you do when you sense the beyond, and your head starts spinning, as it does.
When I sense the
usually
beyond,
when you
yes.
sense the beyond. And you suddenly feel like you are underwater, and you're not sure why, but this feeling of sadness sort of surrounds you and starts to overwhelm you.
I was about to say,
And-
like when you're around me.
No.
And in the sea, you catch a glimpse of red strands floating. But suddenly you feel like the sadness is... When you feel like the sadness is going to overwhelm you and you're going to sink down to the bottom, you feel something pushing you towards the surface. And you look, and it looks like some kind of... the fin of some kind of animal. And then you snap back into the situation you're in.
Okay.
He's a mermaid.
I'm going to ask whether Barty and Amy felt the same. So when I come out, I'm going to ask them, did you feel that?
What did you feel, Mark?
Awkwardness.
Felt your clammy hand. You need some moisturizer on that thing.
Moisture what?
I say I felt the sadness, but I didn't see anything. What about you?
There was water. I was underwater, and the sadness almost overwhelmed me. I've gone to my low voice, not my high voice. Sorry, wrong voice, Murray. Oh. But I felt something pushing me towards the surface. What about you, Amy? Did you feel anything?
I just felt the sadness, and for a moment I thought I saw my husband, but couldn't be.
Did you feel the hope at the end? I did.
It makes me feel better.
Nope.
No hope for Amy.
I felt hope and help came.
Well, I'm
Underwater.
glad that you felt that.
I
I love it. You're so good.
Cool.
It's true.
hope and help.
Can I
Nice.
do a sense of the beyond while I'm
Sleeping drunk.
No, hear me out. While I'm like intoxicated, you guys are having a moment. Would I have a more vivid dream that may wake me up?
Yeah, that's cool. Have a drink.
We're like building the zone around.
I know.
We're like, I like it.
It's like when you go along and then the person lays down and then they do the circle around. It's like that, but I'm just drunk holding fish on the car.
Oh!
Plus 2, 13.
Don't think
Cool.
I think.
Did you
know,
have?
10
I
pluses.
think you're asleep, so like you don't have a particular focal point for your dream, right? You're just dreaming. Whatever comes into your head from the sea, it's gifted you with some fun times.
Exactly. So
Cool.
I can imagine that I'm drunk and kind of just zoning in and out and kind of just, when you Now, I'm just not gonna admit to people drinking alcohol to a very high level, but when you do, and you kind of like lay down and just look at the stars, and you just kind of like, and you're just kind of zoning in and out.
What, when you feel like you can move the clouds with your imagination?
Yeah. You're like, I'm just like,
Fishing.
and you're like, the world's spinning. That's where I think I am. Dolly, so what comes over? Like, do I?
Yeah. So, you're lying there, sort of like in a stupor. When suddenly you get that feeling that you get when you like innately know what something is, except it's unusual because you haven't tried to innately know what something is.
Yep.
And you're really aware of this particular spot on the water, and just like all around that spot, you feel like, oh, it's bad, it's really rough here and like stormy and windy and weird, but in this one spot, it's like super still, and there's like nothing
Eye of the
there,
storm kind
just
of.
water. Yes.
Yeah.
Eye of the storm kind of feeling. You're like, I've got to go to the calm spot. And you kind of are tossing and turning in your sleep while you're thinking about this.
Can I ask if I can do something because I rolled really high?
Mhm.
Can I start not sleepwalking, but almost, well, yeah, it is in essence sleepwalking, but kind of like I just start walking in that direction on my own. Like I obviously they're inside getting it, and I kind of get up and I start stumbling towards wherever I need to go.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that.
We gotta go find the drunk now.
Well, we're in a bit of a circle of trust here, so we might not even notice you.
We need
Well,
to.
that's the question. Do you think they're going to notice you leave?
To be honest, I don't think that my character
So what-
has any recognition or awareness of anything.
Yeah.
Not to mention you're drunk and stumbling, so I don't know if you'd leave quietly.
Well, I've got 2 fish. And I'm sure Benny would be like, Benny! Because all he says is his own name. But like, Timmy from South Park. Gimme! Benny! So yeah, I'm stumbling out, just following my vision and kind of dreaming while I go.
Yeah, I kind of want to split you because it'd be fun for no other reason
Okay.
than that case for what I have planned.
Oh,
So-
hang on, there's a plan?
I mean,
I'm scared now.
Not planned, sorry. An idea.
Yeah, you're
that-
sleepwalking drunk. Don't blame us.
That I came up with in the break.
Okay.
So I just.
Well, we can be zoned out in our sadness circle.
But if you, but it's up to you.
No.
Nice.
No.
All right,
Love it.
cool.
We will go, we're easy.
Okay, then I
Especially drunk with 2 fish. in it.
let's follow you for a little bit, Dolly.
Yeah.
So you walk off past the house with the light on it and the smoke coming out of the chimney.
Yeah, the crazy house in the distance that we look.
The hovel, the house where those guys are.
It's not a hovel, it's a
It's a
home.
home. It's a home. You walk past the home.
Yep.
Along the coastline, in this sort of trance-like state.
Yep.
And you're walking when suddenly, like, in a half-awake sort of dream, you start hearing this sound of singing coming from out in the water. You just know in yourself, like, the singing is coming from the calm spot.
For me.
You know that that's where it's coming from. You just feel that's where it's coming from.
And
It's
so
a
I
really
start-
sad sound.
Yeah. So I just keep going towards that.
So it's out on the water.
Yeah, okay. So I look down at where I kind of like shake my head a bit and wake up a little bit and realise I'm not where I was before.
Yep.
And I look down. Am I looking over cliffs? Like, am I
Yes.
standing on the very, very
Yes.
edge of it?
Yeah, it's one of those
cliff?
moments where you're like
Oh!
your foot is like midway to stepping off the cliff,
Okay.
but you wake up as a burst of cold sea air hits you in the face.
Nice.
And you look out and you're like, that's where it is. And you can still hear the singing.
And I can almost visualize the spot on the water.
Yeah, and exactly how to get there.
Okay. Well, how do I get there from my like? Am I being called? Like, obviously there's the singing. Are they? They're calling me, or are they just? Is it just like an audio? Like a interpretation of what I feel of that place through song.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's sort of what it is. Like, I mean, you get the sense that you're hearing this because you're connected to the place.
Okay. Well, and how do I get there? Because internal compass, I can tell when I'm going to get there, but can I tell if there's a way that would allow me to get me there without a boat or without a? Is there?
You would definitely need a boat. It is in the middle of the water, but there are like.
If only we had a boat.
Tie their.
Don't worry.
Thanks, chat.
Hang on,
Yeah.
hang on. Is there anyone in the chat? Stony is in the chat.
Stony, I
of
think, was a
course.
major
He was-
Stony, I believe, was the major
in,
part of
yes,
us losing
Stony.
our ship.
If only we had a ship for the role-playing adventure. No, don't worry. We've got the
We've
Dolly
got a
Dundee.
rowboat.
We've got the Dolly Dundee
And
Rogers.
there are skiffs like tied up and fishing boats along the shore with shark.
Yeah.
You know,
So now we're going
you
to
could
turn into
But
thieves.
But
or-
I don't steal.
No,
That's not what
of course.
I'm ladylike.
Naturally.
I had to get all sort of technical and map and orientation, but we've got the inlet here where we sailed into, where our boat may or may not be. Is it out in the open ocean that this calm spot is?
We've gone 2 hours south.
Yeah, it's you've passed the inlet. You've kept on going.
Yep.
This spot is between where the inlet is and the house.
So
So
is it the bit that I needed to avoid when I was on the ship at the original?
Yeah, in the adventure
original-
started.
our
It is
original
the
pathway.
Bit that you saw the birds.
Not that we know
avoiding.
this because he's
Okay,
by
so
himself.
Yes.
it's in the
It's
open
in the
ocean.
ocean.
Okay.
So
Yes.
if this is our map,
But it's not that far out at sea.
okay.
Okay.
So is it halfway, or is it more around where the inlet is, or is it more
We
over
can-
here?
We can
So
get there.
wait, where's the town in your map?
Town. There's the inlet.
Yeah.
There's the town.
Yeah.
This is where we are.
Yeah,
south.
yeah. It's about halfway. Yeah.
But it's about halfway there.
Yeah. It's like an hour walk from the town.
I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah.
That's what I did. So okay, cool. So I'm going to immediately look around for boats frantically, as I know I need to get there as soon as possible. So I'm going to look down around, looking for boats, looking for anything that'll be able to get me there.
Yeah, you like.
Think about the shipmate.
You see.
I'm drunk with 2 fish. I'm fine.
Yeah, you can see a skiff tied down. If you walk like down the path that zigzags down the cliffs to the beach, there's a skiff tied.
Is
down
there a
the bottom.
reasonably, doesn't need to be 100% safe, but is there a way for me to climb to get there a little bit faster?
You can act under pressure to try and climb down the less stable side of the cliffs that will get you there quickly.
Balance. +1 in balance. What's the percentage chance that I can roll a 10 or above?
How did you get +1?
Balance.
Yeah.
I reckon that in the drunken state might be cancelled out, don't you?
I think it'd be more than that because I've got the confidence without the fear. Most people going down would have the fear of falling. I don't. I know I can do it. Do you know how much I know I can do it? You want to see how much I know I can do it?
Go on.
Let's see.
Oh.
9?
So
8.
8, 6, 7, 8.
Oh dear.
He succeeds, but
Cool. So,
you falter, buckle, or break. Well, then maybe you don't succeed.
Well, that's not a very nice thing to do at 7 to 9.
So,
Is it?
at this point, I am.
Offer you a worse outcome or an ugly choice.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm gonna offer you
a hard
choice.
bargain.
So,
Love
you can either fall and sprain your ankle, or
Can he call for help? Because Dolly would never call for help. But there's only one person who Dolly would ever call for help.
Oh.
And I think it might be paid.
So how much would I damage would I take
if you fall, you
Yeah.
will take 2 harm.
Oh!
But quick question: how much damage is done to my pride?
That's
Only you can
immeasurable.
know. Yeah, exactly.
It's beyond measure.
2, hey?
The system cannot count that high.
But I mean, you are half an hour away from the home, so
So we might hear you
would
scream.
be a
Middle of the
psychic
night. Start.
call for help, which I will allow.
All right.
Like you sense that Dolly is in trouble.
Now,
When
shipmate.
you go outside to look, Dolly isn't
Is
there,
not there.
and you get a sense of the direction. That's what it would be.
Oh, my I tried.
Eat it.
Hang
Eat
on.
that shaded
Okay, here we go.
Oh, you
Right?
need to roll for it.
Okay. On a 5 or 6, I call for help.
I think you should see if you manipulate yourself.
Can I manipulate myself into...
Sure, you could make things worse, but that's fine.
Okay, alright. I'm going to try and manipulate myself.
This is not technically a role you can make in the game. Why not?
Why not? Yeah, good. Not going to manipulate yourself.
Failing to manipulate yourself.
Because you know you have to call for help.
No, I don't need
You
to.
know
I'm
you
going to
do.
fall.
I think that takes it down to a
Oh.
3, 4, 5, or 6 for me. Sorry, I'm very meta game.
No.
Yeah. Roll 1 die on a 3 or above. You're calling for me because you didn't manipulate yourself.
Damn it!
Oh! In all circumstances.
Meant to be.
And I'm broken as I hear my name called out. Dolly!
So,
And I look at Amy and
I'm going to be found in the most compromising position.
because you've got no
Half on the thing and
Yeah.
going, I can't, help me.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
yeah, so that is like pretty much what I was going to say, but you said it.
Caught in a compromising position of absolute weakness, needing help by...
I leap up and I stumble back and I say, Dolly needs our help.
I stride mindfully to the door and I run manfully towards the sound of the screaming.
So as you
Oh,
guys,
I'm screaming now. Alright, cool.
it's like, hey, look. As you open the door to go outside and respond to Dolly, you see Mac with two others.
Shit.
There's a woman with him holding a ceiling club, and a man with a saber, and he says, he looks from Matthias, and he sees you, and he's like, you lied about what the boss lady said,
Oh.
and now you've come here, even though you know that's gonna make her mad. She's not gonna make any deal with you. You're gonna deal with us instead. And then he laughs.
And when she finds out that you have done this, I'm in my low voice again. And when she finds out that you have done this low thing and stopped me from making my plan, because can you hear that? Did you hear that scream? Did they hear?
No, I don't hear that. I do not. No. What are you talking about?
That is
Nothing.
That is my plan coming into action.
Well, if the sound of your plan is silence, then obviously
It's a woman
I should
screaming.
silence you.
Can't you hear?
Oh!
Can none of you hear the
Well
woman
done.
screaming?
Well done.
No.
No.
They can't.
We've established that's a no.
It's too far away. Do you know? Did you notice?
At this point,
I'm half an hour
Amy
away.
steps outside.
I thought we heard it. I thought we heard the scream.
No,
Psychically.
Psychically.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so they just got nuts now.
Yeah.
Alright, fine. Cool.
He's got the sense that something's wrong with Dolly, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I think he always has a sense
Alright,
of something wrong with Dolly. Maybe more wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry, can we take a quick break? Can we turn on the aircon?
Oh,
Yep.
sorry.
Please on that.
There we go.
See? Didn't even need a break. But
Okay.
ding.
And we're back.
Get out of my way. I need to enact my plan.
The only plan that's happening here is my plan to finish you.
Oh. I got my serrated.
You
And
can
you're
try.
all-
You can try and intimidate him, but he's not responding to me.
No, he's
What,
not.
are
I was
you
trying to
gonna
outsmart
find
him.
out
I was trying to
something?
outsmart him just then, and that didn't happen.
Oh, quick question.
Because he found out that this is the repercussion for what you did before.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
found
Yeah,
out this is
no.
what-
Beautiful. Loved it.
Cool.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Quick question. Can you draw your oar?
No.
I'll go pick it up off the car.
I'd have to go and pick it up off the cart, but he's not. He's got a saber on me. He's not going to do that.
Just go walk to the cart and just see if you can out-talk him while you're doing that, and then draw the oar because he has we worked out you did so well. He has
Yeah.
an unfavourable.
Oh,
and Bart, he looks at you and is like, got no trouble with you, but if you want to be helping him, it's going to be the same for you.
So can we get a status update? There's a guy with a saber
Guy
There's
with
a guy
club.
with a saber, there's a woman with a sealing club, and then there's Mac, who looks unarmed as usual, but you suspect that he's got knives up his sleeve.
Yeah.
Or he's got his little fisticuffs.
Right, so there's 3 of them.
So 3 of them.
Mac, I got no truck with you either. But you lay hands on my friend here, and I'm going to have something to say about it.
That sounds like an intimidate roll. Would you
Ooh.
like to make said roll?
Oh, intimidate another. Brawn, which is 0.
Oh. No, that's not. Yeah,
That's
boy.
11.
Nice.
They cave in
Do you show him
and
a
do
gun
what
show?
I want, or endure the consequences of my threat.
Okay. So he's going to endure the consequences of your threat, which means that I'm going to give you an advantage in the physical struggle that's breaking out. So you basically you get the first blow in because you're prepared, you're ready, and like he's having a moment of weakness, thinking about whether he wants to fight you.
Yep.
He had
But
an
then
awful time
You
last
see,
time.
you see him make up his mind. He's
Right.
going to do it, and
Right.
like you're in there quickly.
I'm going to pull the hatchet out and throw it at the guy with the saber.
Cool. Roll to seize by force, and you will get a +1 because you had the advantage from.
Okay, so this is just a +1 on this roll.
Oh!
You are kidding!
He looks across at the guy with his saber.
Does he keep his +1?
Yeah, you do. You get a +1.
Literally couldn't
Throw the other one.
So, seize by force. You get to pick 3, I believe.
Yeah, right.
So choose what you would like.
So I can take definite hold of the situation. I can inflict terrible harm and impress, dismay, or frighten. I'd like to frighten.
But does
Then
that,
you hurt
does that mean
yourself.
he takes...
You will take some. You will take some harm.
Some harm.
Unless you choose to suffer a little harm. Even then, you might take some harm because this will be.
Because I inflicted terrible harm?
It's not because you inflicted terrible harm. You're in a physical fight.
Yep.
So somebody's trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
And you will take harm.
Well, you can't.
But if you suffer little harm, you will take less harm. Basically. If you choose to suffer little harm.
So you can choose 2 and little harm, or you can choose 3 and you suffer harm.
I can choose.
2 and little harm.
You've got 4 options.
Right.
One of them will mean that you suffer less harm than you would have otherwise.
Yeah.
From 3 people. From being in a fight with 3 people.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll suffer a little harm.
Yeah.
And which
Yeah,
other two?
take
Which
it.
other 2?
And which of the other 2 would you like?
And take definite hold of the situation and frighten.
Okay, that's really cool. So before I resolve that, Matthias, what are you doing during
Does
this?
the
as
axe that he
fight breaks
throws
out?
knock the saber out of his hand?
Oh, you just like,
I'm very keen on having a saber. I don't want to have a little paring knife.
That's cinematic.
let's
yeah,
see how good.
Let's do it.
Let's see if the scholar can catch the sword.
Oh, I was planning on picking it up, but catch it'd be cool.
Yeah.
So are you gonna take part in this fight, or are you going to just try and?
Oh, yeah, I was going to do a. I was going to try and take advantage. I was going to seize by force and try and grapple. But,
Yeah, great.
If he's
So
doing that, in
You can both do that because
yeah.
there's 3 of them. So if you want to roll seize by force as well,
Okay.
and then I'll resolve them both.
Here we go. 9.
Cool. So pick 2.
I'm going to take hold of the situation and suffer a little harm.
Okay. So
I'll
between.
take hold of it, the sword.
Nice.
Yeah.
So between the 2 of you, so the fight breaks out, but you're onto Mac, like almost instantly, and you manage to knock him unconscious. How do you manage to do that?
So that's with the back end of the other axe.
No, the axe he threw into the guy's head, you rip it out, and you smack Mac in the back of the head.
Into his
Sorry,
head.
can we go
God,
back? The first
Yes.
the first action was me throwing the axe.
Yes.
So does that kill the guy?
Does that kill Mac?
No, the
The
guy.
saber.
The
Saber
old
arm.
saber guy. So the way this resolves is an overall fight.
Okay.
So I guess the best way for me to do this is to tell you the outcome of the fight, and then
Work back.
you can describe
Yep,
what happened
okay,
during
cool.
the fight.
Okay,
I
cool.
think that's probably what's going to happen.
Yep.
So at the end of this fight, all three people are going to be unconscious or restrained. Your choice.
Okay.
Because you've got definite hold of the situation. You will both suffer some kind of injury, and basically they will be terrified of you by the end of the fight.
Yep.
But I think maybe let's hear from you first, Bart, about what you did during the fight, and then we'll cross to Mateus.
Okay. So I threw the axe, and that struck the guy across the face and knocked him out. So he was kind of gone in the first couple of seconds. I turn, and all of a sudden, Mac is there with a knife in each hand, which he lunges towards me, and a knife strikes right across the bridge of my eye, and blood comes streaming down there.
You can have a cool eye scar.
And I'm blinded by the blood. But that sort of does give me an opening to pull out my second axe head, and with the back of it, smack him across the head.
Nice. So you're going to suffer. That sounds like probably 2 harm.
2 harm?
Yeah. You've knocked out two of them.
Would that constitute sort of me losing the eye? I mean, is that something we need to resolve now, or?
Not something you need to resolve now. So with 2 harm, it's a situation of you will need medical help within the next few hours, like maybe 5 or 6 hours.
Okay.
Less would be better.
Mother of a
If you don't get
2-year-old
medical help, then you will lose it. Then that will be the end of your eye.
Yeah.
But there's still a chance. Mateus, what are you doing?
When the first axe flings out and hits the guy with the saber in the head, he gets knocked unconscious and he drops his sword. I go to catch it and catch the blade, which cuts my hand.
That means you own it now.
Luckily, I'm left-handed, so I then take the saber in my left hand and I turn it on the woman with the club and tell her to drop the club.
And so she drops
Obliges.
the club.
And then I will restrain her.
Yeah, cool.
Was that one?
1 harm for that, yeah, I think. And you weren't as involved in this battle,
No.
so that makes sense.
Okay, that was wicked.
So now you
That
have.
was
That was
really,
very cool.
really cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I just to metagame for a minute, I started to go into D&D mode and think about, initiative and turns, but it's not like that at all.
Yeah.
It's such a nice way of doing that, a physical alteration.
I love that.
And just to remember, that you've got the control, and therefore you can narrate the action.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
We like your game.
Fun.
Keep it up. keep. What do you call it? Oh, quick question. Sorry, just another outside game. You're not a GM. You're not a DM. What are you? What's your name? Are you a keeper? Keeper's
Right,
Cthulhu.
so
Master.
MC is the original name used in Pop Squad Master of Ceremony, but I actually just use GM in the book because that's just what I'm familiar with.
Understand.
Yeah.
I thought you might have some,
Oh,
the
weird.
seeker or the
name.
storyteller.
Yeah,
or
no. I mean, all of those are good. You can call me whatever you like.
Okay.
the Fable Master.
Folklorist.
Oh, the folk.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there should be a folk name.
Should be
In the
some
chat,
kind of,
have a think of a name. It's got to do with
well, you could even
fairy
do
tales.
the name of the poet around the fire who would tell the tales, like the Viking name is Scott. That doesn't really work.
What about the Fey Master or the Fey Wild?
Fabler.
Fable? Anyway,
Sorry.
Anyway, sorry, we're
Yeah.
woo, we're back. So I'm going to tie up the woman.
Yes, so now you have 2 unconscious men and a woman who's
tied
been
up.
restrained.
Okay.
And sword.
Did you?
I have a sword. Sweetness. Does it take 2 harm? My
So
sword.
what are you
Can I-
going to?
Did the sword?
Yeah.
I have a very important question. Did the sword snap? And does it know any of this?
Hey. You're calling for my help.
I'm doing this mentally.
I cut my hand, and I had control of it. So no, my sword does not snap.
Sadly not, but I look forward to a failed roll in the future.
Fine, that's fine. Look,
I like you.
is it a 2 harm
Yes,
saber?
yes, it is.
Saber 2 harm.
So now you've got 2 unconscious men and a restraining woman. What are you gonna do?
You can tie them up, put them in that hovel at the back. Not the hovel. Not the home. The where we were sleeping.
So we throw them in the ocean and see if they float.
Oh,
hang on.
He's got
We're talking to
Whoa!
to Eileen. It's like, yeah, not murder. Like, oh, 3 of them. That's fine.
No. Yeah, we're gonna have to tie them up here.
Okay, but we're seamen. We've got good knot skills.
The
We
story
got-
brewer.
Story brewer.
Oh, 'cause
Oh, of
they're
course,
story
because you're story
brewers.
brewers. Not who was
That's
that?
cool.
Who's
How
that?
is-
Who said that? Desu?
Yes.
J.
The story
What
brewer
did Stoney
is
say
so.
about
you?
It's so
The story
appropriate.
brewer.
Yeah.
Story brewers.
Sorry,
nice.
not
That's
Kinda
cool.
Nice.
And then, like, whenever you play this game, it'll be like, you'll have to
You
spruik up.
have to name, yeah. Sea laird
The
is
sea
another
laird.
option. But
Sea
story
laird.
brewer, story brewer.
Oh my god, story brewer. Because you're story brewer.
Lee's all over that with thumbs up already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves that. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so Amy comes out and is like, I'm sorry, this is all my fault. Like, this is because of me and my mother. And
No, I don't think so.
Can I send him a psychic message saying, it's not? You can hear me arguing in your head.
Who is your mother?
Eileen.
So it's wait. Got to make it more daytime soap opera.
Hang on, slow pan in. Slow zoom.
So it turns of head.
Yeah,
That's what
and you slowly, and as that happens, you go like this. The camera just slowly pans.
Wait,
That's
eyebrow. Wait. We can't because we can't zoom in. I need to.
No, you have to move forward.
I am.
Slowly.
I'm gonna get really close because I have your eyebrow acting.
No, go for it.
What?
So,
This town is very.
But then
oh, so that
Yours-
means
But
Wait,
that
wait.
means. But you know. But what?
but your uncle is the ship.
it's the ship. So Eileen and the shipwright are
Brother and
and
sister.
sister.
Yeah, but they don't really get along.
No.
No one really gets along with Eileen.
Lass.
Except she likes tea.
Well, no, you're hanging off a cliff.
Thanks for coming and getting me in a hurry.
We've done amazing things.
You're gonna walk up.
We should.
Well,
Yeah.
no, your eye needs looking to, and if I could have something to bind my hand.
Yeah, of course.
Just but a scratch.
I'm now whinging via like telepathy.
Yeah.
Just like, oh my god!
Did you hear that? Oh, I forgot. Go.
I've given up my pride of who I am and everything I identify with for you assholes.
I call to the wind. We're coming, Dolly.
Amy
But
is like,
first,
My
Who are you
debt
talking to?
is paid.
yeah, so she gives you something to bind your hand and something to stop the bleeding in your eye. It's
Okay.
bleeding quite a lot though.
All right.
Skull will be
And she
magnificent.
asks you, what do I do with 2 unconscious men and the woman that you tied up?
Lass. We'll be back. We'll be taking them back to the provost.
Okay,
Ignore them till then.
Yes.
okay, I'll try.
If they whinge, a swift cuff about the head would suffice.
She looks she looks like she's terrified at doing that to one of Eileen's
Henchmen.
henchmen.
I go to the cart and grab my oar with its blood stain. Use this. Very effective.
Yes.
So as you walk off, you just see the image of this thin woman holding an oar and trembling a little bit, looking at these 3 guys and this little 2-year-old just poking them.
Nice.
Mummy, who are these?
I say
They're
to
not your
I'm
friends.
Benny.
They're not your friends, Benny. Stop doing that.
I'm
Benny's using
you.
Benny's using him as trampoline.
I say to Amy. I say to Amy. However much you love your son, that's how hard you need to hit him if he speaks.
Right.
You go like this. You see literal sand, like the sawdust coming off the oar as she's like,
Yeah.
"There's nothing I know more than the love I have for my
Yes.
child."